The other night, Cookie and I were invited to an exclusive early screening of Renfield at the Alamo Drafthouse that had a celebrity surprise and ended in a spooky party in Dracula's lair. And I filmed everything, of course. Come on! So after valeting our car at the club that the after party was going to be at, we walked in the wrong direction for 3 blocks before discovering the draft house was right across the street.
We found it!
Dumb. Once we were inside, we were super surprised to see our old pals Josh Bielevec and Kimmy, who were there, and oh man, I just love hanging out with those guys. Cookie and I haven't been drinking, so we got some 0% beers and took the escalator with another TikTok buddy of mine, Matt, Storytime guy.
Renfield is Nicolas Cage. Anything Nicolas Cage, I will watch and love and scream.
They gave us some popcorn and plastic teeth that didn't really look like vampire teeth and were too small to put in our own mouths, but all was forgiven when Cookie looks behind her and in what she thought was a calm, quiet voice screamed in my face, "Nicolas Cage is here!" Which is the only appropriate response in that situation. Mr. Cage didn't really have a whole lot to say, but he didn't need to. It was kind of perfect.
This movie is sensual. This movie is evil. This movie is cabaret. This movie is sassy.
Renfield is the name of the familiar that takes care of Count Dracula and the main character of this film. He's been here since the beginning, which they cleverly show us in the most satisfying flashbacks. And because the Prince of Darkness himself doesn't truly age, Renfield, of course, is given some matching powers as well. He's just not quite as strong. Instead of consuming humans, Renfield is reduced to taking the lives of bugs and spiders in order to trigger his abilities, which include being able to rip off arms and leap through the air with incredible accuracy and strength. What makes this film particularly interesting is we are now in the modern day, and dear old Renfield is sick and tired of the toxic relationship between him and his boss, Count Dracula, and through therapy, he starts to live life for himself. Without spoiling anything, here's why this movie is possibly my favorite of the year so far. 1, the story isn't annoyingly formulaic. I didn't spend any time of this film thinking about where we were in the script, and I can't say the same for the last handful of Marvel movies that I saw. The gore was way more than I was expecting, and there was a campiness to it that felt really fun and action-packed and made me kind of forget that a lot of it was CGI mixed with practical effects. And the practical effects in this are amazing. The first time you see Dracula, I mean, it's so cool. I don't want to give anything away. Speaking of the action sequences felt really well choreographed. They were easy to follow and were very exciting to watch. And Nick Cage didn't phone in any part of his performance. His portrayal of Dracula is consistent with the original film, with a healthy and satisfying amount of Cageisms, of course, to really elevate the fact that he is now in the modern world. This is one of Nick Cage's most memorable performances, in my opinion, and he perfectly links his version of Dracula directly to Bela Lugosi. I also think he was matched really well by the rest of the cast, and in particular Nicholas Hoult, who killed it, Ben Schwartz, who was hilarious, Brandon Scott Jones, who I think stole the comedy out of the lungs of everyone around him. He was just like brilliant as the therapist, and Awkwafina, who I think gave her best performance since Shang-Chi, though I haven't seen all of her like dramatic work. But later at the after party, Kimmy mentioned it might be the horror movie of the year for her, and I can't disagree.
Loved it. Oh my God, so fun. That was amazing. Nicolas Cage, obviously we expected to stole every scene he was in, and then Ben Schwartz, I think, stole every scene he was in, which was unexpected because I didn't even know he was in this movie.
I loved it. I fell in love with Nicolas Cage more and more. Gaslight King, it's a very beautiful story. It's very romantic and very sad. And a lot of awesome action and gore. I dug that ending, man.
Awesome action and gore, and I felt like there was way more story than I expected. Way more than I even needed, but in such a great way.
Oh, my mic was plugged in the wrong way all night long. Sorry for the bad audio. So dumb. Anyway, at the party, which was at this place called The Gaslighter, which is so funny because Dracula's basically gaslighting Renfield the entire movie, they gave us more teeth, a t-shirt, a poster, and then ushered us to the roof, which was pretty cool. They had drinks and snacks and fire everywhere, and the fog was rolling in, which was a really cool coincidence. This is the crazy part, though. We go to leave, and the guy in the elevator is like, "I can't take you to the lobby. I can take you to the basement." And we were like, "What's in the basement?" And they go, Dracula's lair. Yup. Yeah, we'll do that. So we pile in with way too many people. And when the doors open in the basement, we are in a vampire's hangout with amazing furniture, light fixtures hanging from the ceiling. And honestly, it was so cool. I barely filmed anything down here. I just wanted to soak it all in. We ended the night down here meeting some new friends. And then a magician came by who did some really cool magic tricks that I had never seen before. Like he took the ring off of my finger and then put it in his hand and then used a lighter to heat it up. And then it was tied to his shoelace. He didn't even bend over at all. And then he had to bend over to untie it from his shoelace. It was so weird. I love magic, but I also like kind of hate it, but I love it. Thank you, Universal, for giving me the opportunity to see this film in advance. This was high on my list of movies I expected to enjoy this year. And while the party and the Nick Cage sighting were really incredible Hollywood moments for me, I think the best part was that the film was actually great. Like truly, truly great. Check out my review that I posted earlier. And if you can go see Renfield this weekend, you should, because it's a huge win. That's it for this adventure. If you want to see more longer form reviews like this on here, let me know in the comments. And remember, we're more likely to survive if we stick together.
I really can't believe this. What a night. What an unbelievable night. Thank you, Universal, for sending me to go see Renfield and bringing Nick Cage and giving me all this free stuff. And I don't know what I did to deserve this. It's because of people who watch my videos. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.